Vlad Ethereum Classic.
What's up, gentlemen? Capital gentlemen. So, all right, we're back at it again, analyzing Bitcoin and its price action. So, what I wanted to go over quickly was a couple of things: Bitcoin's price action, Bitcoin ADA, and altcoin liquidity dominance. And I think that would basically be it because what we're trying to do, we're trying to continue to prove the base case for basically Bitcoin going into lower levels, possibly 20,000, 21K, 22K, maybe even 19, 18K, but ultimately making a higher low before it continues to go sideways until the halving. Backing up that data by quarterly returns analysis and liquidity analysis with in terms of altcoin liquidity and Bitcoin liquidity, and seeing ultimately the price action for the altcoin we're trying to accumulate here, which would be ADA, in order to get those cheap capital gain returns for the lowest entry possible. But yeah, let's just get started right here. So I just want to first point out, if we go to the 200 week moving average, the SMA 200 week SMA, and we zoom in here on our weekly time frame for Bitcoin, we can see that around this region, we are currently retesting the 200-day weekly moving average, the SMA 200 weekly. And what I'm also noticing here is obviously we potentially have, that left shoulder neckline. Head, it's kind of ghetto, but you get what I'm saying. Head and shoulders, and then if this tops out, bearish pattern to the downside, right? But that's besides the point. I'm thinking that if this doesn't necessarily confirm as some sort of support on the 200 weekly moving average, then that's not going to be good for the bulls looking to move this price up higher, just because they need to be trading above the 200 weekly as it was previously doing, but as we failed to maintain that this time around, and as we reject to the downside, also forming a head and shoulders and rejecting from the 23% Fibonacci retracement, and basically getting out this no man's land region by rejecting to the downside out of this region and going back into this region over here, which would be between like levels of 25.2 to 20,000. And if we break 20,000, then going back down into lower levels, which I'm not even going to go into because I don't even think that's going to happen. But we have to see that when we get here. We got to worry about this range. So another thing I want to point out is, after seeing how we're rejecting currently, because what I find to be quite ominous is that the fucking bulls came in at the last fucking second and pumped this shit up. At last week we all saw that shit coming. It was looking pretty fucking bearish until Sunday, and then we pumped on the Sunday 6% and closed the week out. Like, if we just zoom in, like, this is looking pretty damn sus. Like, it's looking quite odd, bro. Like, like This was normal, but this move, I'll move this. This move over here, that was just, I don't know, it was kind of uncalled for in my opinion, but it is what it is. Right, but I mean, if you kind of look into the daily, how we're rejecting currently here from the top of this ascending channel, and we extend these lines out, we extend this line out, and we're going to see that support is getting higher, but at some point, let's just say like we go throughout this all month, if we go through the same price action, eventually we are going to break to the downside around the 13th of October. So like we got to make a move in my opinion at this point. But talking about removing that, and we're talking about the bull market support band as we go back to the weekly time frame. Right, it's pretty important metric when we're trying to determine momentum here. As we can see, trading above the bull market support band was pretty important throughout this year's rally, but as we've broken that support and potentially flipping it into resistance, it's it's looking like more and more that we eventually, let me just do this, that we eventually reject what just happened. But oh, I guess that was the wrong support there that I just did that with, or whatever. So days, put on days, not weeks. No, I did it right. So yeah, I like in and I'm not like trying to say that being bearish is like a bad or good thing. I'm not like in my opinion, it's just how is the price action actually going? Can we reasonably expect us to break to the upside and head to 40,000? And then what do you think is going to come after that? Like we still have the yield curve inversion to worry about. We still got the S&P like capitulating. Like if you guys haven't seen that, here you go. Like I don't really understand how we're going to talk about, like as if the S&P hasn't topped out, and people think it's, we're bullish because Bitcoin chooses to outperform pre-recession. Like are we going to really be like overly bullish about that? Like I'm quite skeptical, right? Moving on past that, I just want to point out, we can go to this a less messy chart, right? For this, I wanted to point out. So we had a hidden bullish divergence for a second. Like I would agree, and actually, this isn't even a chart I would want to go to. Yeah, this would be the one right here, and also talking about the head and shoulders pattern that we have going on right now, like the main head and shoulders pattern, we don't really even need to really get disproven um on a large basis, because we already have this head and shoulders breakdown in play all the way down to 18K. So in my opinion, I'm like, all right, we have that in play. We don't have to retest the support line because this support line is above the bull market support band. And if we do, we go to 30K. And like it's kind of like I don't see it happening unless we start trading above the bull market support band for a couple of weeks. But I mean, if we just go back in the cycle on some different charts, like over here, um, after we broke the bull market support band in this cycle over here, like even with it being, that was the initial. What is this? What's this over here? It's top bear market rally, and pandemic lows. Okay, so even with this rally, I say like we're right here. I mean, we can still see after the second time it broke the bull market support band, it was still heading lower, minus the pandemic drop, but like it's still rejected for a little bit longer. And with the halving being as close as it is, I don't see why we have to literally be at a higher sideways point after we went into the pre-halving year the way we did, being bullish at the beginning of this year. Like I don't see why we haven't topped out for this year. Assuming that, like the liquidity relying on sending this price higher is coming from altcoins, because total one is not increasing like at all. There is no new liquidity. So Bitcoin dominance is going to go higher, yeah, but that liquidity has to come from altcoins. And because that liquidity is coming from altcoins, it doesn't mean that Bitcoin is going into a bull market or that the bull market cycle has started, because that is reliant on access liquidity coming into the ecosystem to send things like total one, total cryptocurrency market cap higher, right? And just looking at what we're doing, even with total cryptocurrency market cap, it's it's like we still have that head and shoulders unfolding. Like, yeah, we're making a higher low, but nobody said we couldn't retest this and then reject. Like, it's not that hard. As this continues, like it's gonna be harder and harder to not break to the downside regardless. So, like trading at the same valuation, okay, maybe not even the same valuation. Let's just say we go like wick lows, bro. We break down in December, and then we're down here like let's just say halfway to the 78.6 by what, like like February or something, and then maybe you can kind of like. But at the same time, though, these moves can happen really fucking quick. Like you seen this wick over here, like negative 20 fucking percent. And I mean, like I get that was around FTX, but even before FTX, bro, like negative 12%, bro. Like looking at like all that momentum, yeah, like yeah, you got 3AC, but regardless of the catalyst, was this not gonna happen anyways? And like the fact of the matter is, if we can't hold 38, just off Fibonacci analysis, if we can't hold the 38.2, next level is for 50%. We get to the 50% by breaking the level of support. We break the level of support to this neckline, that we have a trajectory to the downside next. And I dare you to say that there's new liquidity in the system after we're still coasting off these damn lows, like off of fucking what, lows coming in a 75% drop, still at a negative 65%. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, no, no. But back to Bitcoin real quick. People keep saying Bitcoin is bullish, and I still don't get it, because I mean, I'm just gonna go into the weekly time frame on here, and actually, I don't even have to go on a weekly. No, it's the daily, maybe even a 3 day. Maybe if it's the same thing that I'm looking for. Um, nope, it would be the daily. It would be the daily where I'm looking for there. So, like, my thing is, where's the chart that I'm looking for, bro? Oh, no, 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 no. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Cause I'm like recording a video right now. I had to say no. Oh my god, I got so scared, bro. I was like, bro. I was like, don't do that, don't do that. Yeah, Oh man, I would have been pissed. But like, okay, I think which time frame was this on? No, this was on the weekly time frame. Going back, let's take this to, yep, here. Yep, let's take this to a cleaner chart. and bam, like bearish divergence. And you could argue, right? Like, oh, well, Vlad, if there's a bearish divergence, like, like how are you going to validate the bearish divergence over this hidden bullish divergence? And my kind of mindset on that is the hidden bullish divergence has clearly already played out. Like clearly, in my opinion, like I really do think it's already played out. My God, like hold on, like yeah, this could break up to the upside. We have a retest, and then like bada bang, bada boom. Hold on, let me try to make this somewhat equal over here. So, oh my God, fuck, just let me like, there you go. So like, yeah, we could do all that. You know, you got that because this is the region we're talking about right here. Because we have the trend line analysis to tell you which divergence is in play, and if we look at the top lines, like yeah, we had that bearish divergence to the downside. But I'm gonna look at my my divergence cheat sheet real quick, and just give me a sec. And even with the hidden bullish divergence, oh no, there's not. No, not really. Nah. I mean, I get why it's saying that because technically, this, if you can see it here to here, it's technically a higher low, but like you still had the lower high. So I'm just gonna say that's invalid. So yeah, we have a bearish divergence on the weekly time frame, and people aren't talking about it. And people aren't talking about it, and they're like, "Oh, bullish case if we can get back above here." And I'm like, no. I'm like, we still have that bearish divergence playing out, playing out. And then if you want to be like, oh, what about the downside part of this where this is going which side? This is going up and then this is going down. Well, I mean, I guess at that point, I mean, because you can make an argument either way. It's just, in my opinion, if we look at the larger angle, which, I mean, technically, I guess the Bulls would be right. But the fact that the Bears' divergence is present does say something. So, I mean, you could make a case for either one, which I find to be kind of weird. But, I mean, that is what it is. I mean, I've never been in a scenario where you have two fucking divergences in play at the exact same time. But, like, is that really the case? Like, I'm trying to look at this cheat sheet right now. Sometimes it's hard to tell. And well, lower lows and low and what the fuck, are these the same highs or higher? Okay, but then I look at the bearish divergence, the regular bearish divergence. I mean, I don't know, but at the same time, this is a hidden bullish divergence versus a regular bearish divergence. So that's kind of my argument right there. I mean, and we lost the bull market support band, and you know, I'm not going to show right now, but we still have that death cross, and we broke down out this descending channel, with the head and shoulders, that I've already talked about, Fibonacci retracement. Um, I mean, like, don't get me wrong, Bitcoin is going to take up more market share, and it's not going to hit new lows. I don't know why people keep saying that. I'm really not convinced on the new lows. My argument is that we're just going to go down and test 20,000 pretty soon, before the year's end. That's my opinion. Like, I really don't think we're gonna hit new lows, but I think 20,000 is in the picture. Top, in my opinion, top is in. Hold, let me see if we're still recording. We're still recording. Okay, just had to make sure. But like, yeah, let's look at these monthly returns. Like people, shout out, what's his name? Crypto Wolf or what? No, shout out Wolves of Crypto. I got like a little cameo in his video. But I respect his opinion. This isn't even a beef, but he said quarterly returns and or maybe not even quarterly return. He said monthly returns don't matter, and you know it doesn't have much to do with the price action that's going to be coming up. Because I said, why do we need 9 months of green? And if he's thinking like, I don't know what his mindset is. I don't know if he's talking about short term or if he's talking about an end of the year rally. I kind of can't tell. I mean, he's not doing a bad job by saying don't buy until we confirm and break out above this level, so and so, which makes sense. But I'd say the matter of fact is to say that quarterly returns and monthly returns don't matter doesn't make any sense, right? Because I mean, just taking away from that argument, I'm just looking at Ethereum here, and I'd say they do matter, right? You looking at 2019, you going into no, not 2019, you going into 2020. You have basically fucking 2 years of green on a quarter. Like, I'd say like they do matter to some degree, right? In my opinion, like it really does matter. It's a variable that you have to respect with relativity and the way it's perceived, in my opinion, right? But how we as we were negative mostly, we had 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 bearish months last year. I mean, they definitely do matter because I mean they're kind of what defines the year, in my opinion. Like, is like, yeah, it's literally, I think they do it. Like, obviously, like, duh, the momentum and returns of the year define what the year would be perceived as. Like, I'm not saying that defeats his argument. What I'm saying here is for the pre-halving year, saying these variables, like how they were barely, green. Like, I guess he's, more so talking about February mostly, and then April. If that's the case, and like, and they don't matter. I guess my argument is, so what if it was red to the downside? Would it not matter then? And if it was red to the downside, is that a better bullish case? But if it's a better bullish case, then we can't say none of the pre-halving year matters. But if it does, scrap that argument. If this doesn't matter, then it's kind of like, are we not looking for some sort of equilibrium on correction? If we're going to be looking at this chart, or how global liquidity kind of plays into how this chart plays out, or the narrative at the time, or et cetera, et cetera. You know what I'm saying? I think that this chart does matter for the pre-halving year, just because even if we get another 7th month of green, because so far we had like 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. If we get another 8 month of green, I mean, it's kind of like at this point, I'm not saying October can't be green, but I'm kind of like, all right, at what point are we gonna look at this and say stop the cap? Where the red months at? That's kind of my basis. I'm like, where are the red months at? When are we gonna get fucked up? Because at some point, every single fucking year has always been some shit. So like, and it's not like I mathematically, I mean, I guess mathematically you could prove, little events. That's not even what I'm even saying. I'm saying if we just look at the quarters and we see how, like, we're heading right now, and because these eventually add up to the quarters. Let me see how much time I have, because this is gonna stop at like 30 minutes. Um, it's like, yeah, these do factor in to where the price action kind of represents itself in a pre-halving year terminology aspect, right? You look at 2019, you see half the year we had green, half the year we had red. You go back to 2015 and it's the same thing. And I'm kind of like, yeah, so like yes, the monthly returns do matter because they make up the quarterly returns. And that's why I'm saying, why do we need 9 months of green? If I mean, I guess technically, right, we could have 9 months of fucking green, right? And still have a negative Q4. So I mean, I guess that's where my argument kind of does fuck up. I'll admit that. But I say beyond that, like you gotta kind of analyze. Like I'm thinking, yeah, this Q4 is gonna be kind of bearish a little bit. Especially I'm running out of time on this one, but I'll just make another like episode or whatever. I'm just looking at other aspects like the total. Which one is this? Nope. Altcoin market dominance, excluding Ethereum. Is this? Yep, this is the right one. And let's just like play this out to the monthly time frame. I'm just looking. I guess we can look at this in the next video, right? But looking at all these different liquidity aspects, I'm like, all right. I'm like, not only do we have liquidity getting drained from like total 2, total 3, Ethereum's putting in higher lows on its Bitcoin pair, right? And then that's, the secondary safe haven asset in crypto isn't performing too well. Stablecoin liquidity is dropping. Stablecoins aren't looking too good. All these things are either fleeting back into Bitcoin or exiting crypto. And even assuming that Bitcoin does take up a higher percentage of market share, that's not a guarantee that it's going to pump. And this is beyond that argument that Wolf was making, that I was just talking about quarterly and monthly returns. This is just about the general. We transition that topic in a general consensus. So I don't want to hear shit about like beef or nothing. Like nobody's fucking beefing. It's just math talk and shit. But like as for a general consensus on momentum to the upside, momentum has to be created by inflow or exit of liquidity. And right now, I'm only seeing deep exits of liquidity in momentum being displayed. From those little exits of liquidity being displayed by the momentum reflecting that the liquidity has already left and leaving. Um, I say I'm gonna end it here, right? Um, I'm probably gonna make continue this part, make a part 2 here. But I just want to say thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe. Capital Gentleman out here, trying to figure out, circumstances, grinding, getting our portfolios up, reallocating assets, building portfolios, building livelihoods with resources by, you know, in my opinion, participating in some cutthroat ass business. Shit. Fuck. Okay, I'll see.